Hello. Today I'm going to be talking about the importance of food quality, in particular grass-fed meat. Grass-fed, grass-finished. I'll talk about what that means. So grass-fed meat is not only more ethical, as the cows are raised on pasture their whole life, as compared to grain-fed meat, which they live in feedlots, but it's also more healthy. Grass-fed beef is higher in omega-3 anti-inflammatory fats. Fat-soluble vitamins are stored in the fat of the animal. These determine both the taste and nutrient content. Grain-fed animals are not only missing the quality grasses that make their fat taste good, taste awesome to me, they also have negative flavors because of what they're being fed. So the fat in grass-fed beef has all of the fat-soluble vitamins A, D, E, K2, as well as fatty acid precursors, which can be converted into omega-3s. It's also rich in B vitamins, as well as minerals and elements. So it is awesome. Grass-fed beef is a superfood, even more so if you eat grass-fed liver when it comes to the nutrient content. But if you're even going to eat grass-fed steaks and you eat the fat, that can be very beneficial. And I'll talk about how to do that because a lot of people they don't normally eat the fat on a steak. So I often get asked where I get my meat from, as I often post pictures and recipes on my Cooking and Ketones website and as well on Twitter. For about a year and a half, I had a Butcher Box subscription until I tried the meat from Frank Tufano. Frank Tufano is a 7-year carnivore. He has a YouTube channel. And he just happens to be one of the most knowledgeable people around when it comes to animal-based nutrition and indigenous cultures. So he started his meat company because he was having a hard time finding good quality grass-fed meats at an affordable price, along with organ meats and dairy, because companies like ButcherBox don't offer organ meats or dairy, not that I know of. Just to know, I don't get any referrals. I don't have any referrals to his site or his company. So I'm not making any money off of this if you buy anything from there. I'm just sharing because this is where I get my grass-fed meat and why. So I'm just explaining that to you. So I just got this shipment in from Frank recently, and the first thing I'm going to discuss is actually the dairy part, the raw cheeses. The nutritional content of any dairy product depends on the quality of the milk, what the animals were fed. And unlike pasteurized cheeses, raw cheeses preserve the nutrients as well as beneficial bacteria of the milk, making it a great source for every vitamin and mineral in addition to fatty acid precursors to omega-3s again that our bodies need. So not only that, cheese is an excellent source of vitamin K2, which is often hard to get because of the good bacteria, a very vitamin important for bone and organ health. So so highly nutritious before you pasteurize the cheese, okay? So I got a couple cheeses. The first one I got was I ordered a raw aged Gouda cheese from Frank. So this is what it looks like, and a Parmesan Reggiano, which I love those two cheeses. They're really incredible. They're two of the best cheeses I've tasted, and it just so happens it's from this meat company, which is awesome. They are soft and yet have a crunch to them and a deep flavor profile. I usually just eat it itself, like So for example, you could even eat this as a dessert. It's so rich in a way. But I normally eat it as a side to a steak or something like that, instead of eating a carb, of course. Could even replace vegetables or be a side of a vegetable. All right, so also in this box was 7 pounds of New York strip, as well as a Wagyu beef short ribs. I have never seen Wagyu marbling on grass-fed meat before until this Frank's company. And Sonia made these short ribs in a slow cooker in a crock pot. And I'm telling you, when we opened the lid, you can ask her if you know her. When we opened the lid, the meat had already completely fallen off the bone. It was so tender and soft and juicy, and by far the best ribs I've ever had. So the Wagyu stuff is definitely more pricey compared to the regular grass-fed. But if you want to go for a treat to treat yourself, it's really incredible. So that would be my recommendation when it comes to the beef short ribs. On top of this, I also got some picanha, which is my favorite steak, actually. It's a Brazilian cut. Here in the U.S., they call it rump cap. But if you go to a Brazilian restaurant, they'll serve you picanha. And the way I prepare the picanha and the New York strip ribeyes is I sous vide at about 131 degrees for, depends on the thickness, roughly 2 hours. And then I will sear it. I have an auto grill that I sear. You can sear on a grill, you can sear on a pan, you can use a flamethrower, whatever you want to do. But if you sear it correctly, and that's why I love the auto grill, but if you sear it correctly, the fat just melts in your mouth when you eat the fat with the protein together. It tastes really delicious as compared to a grain-fed steak. Grain-fed steaks tend to be more tender as far as the muscle meat, but the fat tastes like garbage. For the most part, if you eat the fat of a grass-fed animal and you prepare correctly, you won't want to not eat the fat. You just slice the protein, the lean muscle with the fat, put it in your mouth. It just melts in your mouth if you do it correctly. So, and then you get all the fat soluble vitamins I've been mentioning. So as far as I also have a comparison here, as you can see, a strip steak from Butcher Box compared to a strip steak from Frank. And you can make up your own mind which seems better to you. I prefer the steaks from Frank. There's nothing wrong with Butcher Box. It's a great company. I was a subscriber for about a year and a half, and I still would be if it wasn't for my satisfaction with what I'm getting from Frank. On top of this, you can see that he has many different products. He has jerky. He has something called pemmican. He has some beef liver. So my wife eats a lot of beef liver, so you can get grass-fed beef liver. There's a lot of talk about what is a superfood. This would be a superfood. He's got grass-fed beef belly and tallow and bones and you name it. Aside from beef though, he's also got pork, chicken, fish, lamb. He also has, if you go to the homepage, he has this a Wagyu package. Now this is far more expensive than his regular steak packages, but that is because of it's much more expensive to buy. I mean, it's much more expensive to make and it's much more expensive to buy. So, but if you want to treat yourself to one of the steaks, you can do that. You can do the whole package. Just to give you some context, if you were getting an A5 Wagyu from a restaurant, like a 1 pound of ribeye or a strip steak, it would cost you easily over $200 for that, just for one steak. So yes, the marbling is not going to be as much as the Japanese A5 Wagyu because, well, these are grass-fed, but this is the best marbling you could find as far as grass-fed that I've ever found. So that's a little bit about where I get my meat, why I choose this company. He has a lot of variety. He has the organs. He has the highest quality of grass-fed meats. He even has high marbling of grass-fed meats. He's got the raw cheeses that I like. It's all in a nice package. So I really appreciate that. And I think the steaks and, well, any of the beef or animal products are coming from local New York farms plus Australia, because Australia, they have some great animal pastures out there year-round. So here's an example of some of his steak packages if you're looking for steak. As you can see, this is a ribeye package. So this is all grass-fed ribeye. So you'll get 7 pounds of grass-fed ribeye here. He's got this premium steak, which looks like it's a combination of filet mignon, New York strip, and ribeye. This is 7.5 pounds plus of that. I've gotten that one. This is what was in my package, 9 pounds of thick cut New York strip. So that's roughly it's about $13 or so a pound for grass-fed New York strip of the highest quality. It's, like I said, the prices are actually pretty good. And he even has a fatty beef package. Well, he's got this picanha package. So I ordered this before, 12 pounds of grass-fed picanha. So it's about $12 a pound. Some of the best steak you'll ever eat if you learn how to prepare it correctly. So this is a definite recommendation for me. Yeah. So hope you enjoy. Hope this is somewhat educational. If not, at least it shows you another source of where you can buy grass-fed meat aside from Whole Foods, which is going to be like the most expensive, or like your local grocery store, which may have low quality, or maybe it's not grass-finished or it might be very expensive, or not a lot of options. So thank you.